Yes, now we have finished with the built-in functions. Now next operations which we can perform on a string is nothing but slice operation. As you know, we have already seen this slice operation. That means the square brackets, and in that we can just give some particular index so that that character of that string will be retrieved. Also we have seen that another range slice function. That means we will give a range, that is starting range, ending range, so that in that particular location whether our that particular location string will be, that is substring will be retrieved. So this is only the slice operation which we are performing on the strings. So as you can see over here, Python supports string to create substring. That means from the whole string we can get it a new substring. So what is exactly the syntax of it? It is having str object, that is your string variable, and then starting position, end position and step. So what is exactly starting position? That means from where you want to get the string. End position, till what position you wanted that string, and simply step means how many steps you are going to jump from one character to other character. So in the examples you will get to understand what exactly this step, starting position and end position means. First of all, we can skip the starting position, end position or even your step also. That means as you can see over here, I have not mentioned any starting position, any end position and neither the step. So this is how I can also give, or I can also find out the substring, but the substring will be the whole string itself. That means by default your starting position will be 0 and by default your ending position will be the length of the string, that means the total string. I can see here the up to D it will be its end position and the steps will be by default 1. So here how this slice function works. See, here I have neither mentioned starting position nor end position. So the substring will be directly hello world itself. Same way in the next case also. Here also I have just inserted the columns, that means I have just partitioned the parameters and I have not given any parameter. So it is also going to return me the hello world. Now see, when I wanted first 5 characters of a particular string. So as you can see in this example, I have just given a name to the variable as first 5 char. So here the name of the string is S, and in square brackets I have not given the starting position. I have just given the 5th, that is end position, that up to which I want the string. Now you know very well, we have already seen that this end position minus 1th location is being retrieved. That means the index of the character will be this minus 1. That means up to 4th index, this is going to give you the 4th position character. So when I am writing this, it is going to give me from 0th position, as I have not mentioned over here starting position. So by default it is going to take the 0th position. So it will return me HELLO, as this O is having 4th index, right? And the 5th index is having 2W because it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this 5 minus 1, that means up to the 4th location, it is going to give me the string which will be stored in this variable first 5 char. And my output, when I will be printing that variable, I'll get the answer hello. So now if I want from 3rd to 5th characters, right? So I will now see, just understand, 3rd to 5th characters. So 3rd character will be at one location less, as our index starts with 0. Let's see once again, I'll explain over here. So if you are having HELLOWORLD. Now see, as 0, 1, 2, 3, this is what positive indexing. 7, 8, 9. So when I am saying third character, so when I look at here, third character is nothing but this L, but its index is 2, right? So that's why when I am saying third to fifth character, I am giving 2 is to 5. Now you will say why you have given over here fifth. So fifth character is nothing but your O, and its location, as we know, this is 1 minus 1. So it will go up to 4. So it is going to give me this third character, that is 2 to 4, that is LLO. So when you are going to print this, it is going to display LLO. So this is how we may do the slicing operation. That means we can take out some substrings from the given strings. That is nothing but slicing, making slice of a given strings. Now again, we are also facilitated with reversing a string using slicing. So if you remember, we have seen that we may give index in the reverse order also. That means negative indexing. So if we take again this example, the reverse indexing will always start with the last character of the string and with -1, that is negative numbering. So likewise it will have, so I will be not writing it again. So it will again always start with the last character of the string and with negative number. So when I want to reverse this particular string, so simply what I need to do, now you know very well that my starting position will be 0, my ending position will be the length of the string. So here what I am giving? I am giving the steps. So how it is going to take the steps? From -1. So -1 is over here. So it will start displaying with this HELLOWORLD in the reverse order. So in this way we may print the reverse of a given string. Now see, next again what we can do. Now I already told that I will be explaining how this step is being used. So see, here I am having a string hello world. Here I am having a string hello world. Now I want such a slice, that means it will start with the second character, it will end with the 8th character, and it will have a gap, that is it will jump from one character to another character in the set of 2. That means see, it will start with second character, that means 0, 1, 2, right? That means second index. So here L will be there, right? And then L will be printed. Then it will go up to 8, but now it is going to jump by skipping middle character and to the second character. So now after L I am having L, right? But it is not going to give me L, it will jump to the second character, that is O. So O will be printed. Then after O, here I am having W, but it is again going to skip the W and it is going to print another O. So with the gap of 2, it is going to jump to the second character. That means 2 steps ahead. That means it is going to at the current position and then first and then second. That means on the second character it is going to jump and it is going to print likewise. Another example is nothing but as 8, 1 and -1. That means it is going to print in the reverse order. By the steps only you will understand. It has given the starting position as 8 and ending position to be 1. So likewise it is going to step. Now see which is the 8th character. As you will see, we are having L, right? This L will be at the 8th position, then R, then O, then W, then again O and LL. So it is going to give you the output in this order. So this is how we are using the slice operation in the string function. As we at the starting also we have seen this slice operation, but when you will be asked a separate question on the slice operation over the string, you need to write how we can reverse a string using slicing, what are different ways or different methods by which we can make slice of a given string, and even you have to write this syntax, that string object starting position, end position, and the step. And then here you have to mention what starting position value by default can be. That means if user have not given the value, then what should be its value, then again its end positions value, and even your steps by default value will be 1. After the slice operations, now we are going to see two more special type of functions, that is ORD and CHR. So before moving towards these functions, first let me introduce to you the ASCII value. So what is this ASCII? ASCII is nothing but its full form is American Standard Code for Information Interchange. That means this organization has given some specific values to different characters. What it exactly means, suppose I am having an alphabet A, so it will be given some different code, that is number 65. It is the ASCII value of capital A. So likewise to different characters they have assigned some value, so that value is termed as ASCII value. So why they have made such changes? So as we know, for some security purpose etc., we always have some code words. So likewise here also the characters, the different alphabets are being given different code words only, you can say. It is generally for encoding purpose. That means converting the text into some codes. For that they have assigned these values. So for the ASCII codes, these two functions are being used. That means ORD function. Let's see what is ORD function. So in ORD function, it accepts a string of length 1. Remember, the string of length 1, that means it will only have a single character. When you are calling this function with a single character, it is going to display the ASCII value of that character. As you can see over here the example. First of all, if you are going to write ORD and in that you are passing a character, that is a string of length 1, so it will return 66. Why it is returning 66? Because ASCII value of B is 66, right? So likewise by using the ORD function you may retrieve the ASCII value of different characters. Here I have given you few examples. See, if I am writing ORD 9, so 9 will not have the ASCII value 9 only. It may have some different ASCII value. The ASCII value of 9 is 57. So it is going to display 57. As you can see, I have not written the whole sentence which is written in the print, but I have just displayed the value of ASCII value of 9. So the ASCII value of 9 is 57. So likewise the ASCII value of B is 66 and ASCII value of exclamation mark is 33. So this ORD function, ORD function will help us to get the ASCII value of different characters. So there is one more point. The only compulsion is whatever string, whatever character you are entering in this ORD function, its length should be 1. If you are increasing its length, that means if you are giving more than one string length in this function, then it is going to give you an compilation error. Now let's see what is CHR function. Now as you know, ORD function is used to get the ASCII value, right, from the given character. So reverse is the CHR function. So in CHR function, whenever you are going to pass any particular number, so it is going to give you the character of that ASCII value. That means now 65 is the ASCII value of A. So when you are going to call this function with 65, it is going to give you the value A. So likewise 126 is nothing but ASCII value of this tilde. So when you are giving 126 as a parameter to CHR, it is going to give you output as this tilde symbol. It is TILDE tilde symbol. That means this function returns the string representing a character whose Unicode point. Now here Unicode means this ASCII is nothing but an Unicode, that is ASCII value. So Unicode point in the integer supplied as the parameter to the function. That means which Unicode you are passing over here, which ASCII value you are passing over here, that its original character will be displayed. So now again its syntax is CHR and in between n, where n is the integer value always. If you are not giving over here integer value, again it is going to give you an error. So here another example I had taken. If I want to display the value tutor, so in code if I want to hide what exactly I want to display, so I can directly use this CHR function and there I can give the ASCII values of the character which I want to display. Here I want to display the tutor, so the ASCII value for T is 84, for U is 85, then for again T is 84, then for O is 79 and for R is 82. So when I will be printing and calling this function, so this CHR is called with the value 84, then it is going to display here T and likewise further. So here these are the use of the ORD function and CHR function. Now below, as you can see, I have mentioned the membership operators in and not in. Again the in operator we have already studied at the starting of the lecture, that is string operators, and not in also I have given a small introduction. So once again we'll go through it. What are these membership operators? As the name itself suggests, whether it is present in that or not in that. That means whether it is present in the string or not in the string. These operators are generally used on different other data types also, that is list, tuple, dictionary, etc. So in strings how they are used. So if the operand is in the given data structure, it returns true. If it is not present, it returns false. Reverse is the case. If it is not in the given data structure, then it returns true. Otherwise it returns false. Let's directly see the examples. I have declared here a string hello. So if I want to check whether E is there in the given string or not, so what I'll write? E in str. So now see, when this if statement is going to execute, if it is having a value true, if our condition is true, at that time only it is going to enter in the if statement. So E in str. Now as we know, this character E is there in hello. That means in str it is there. So this if statement is going to give me true, and that's why it is going to print E is present. Right? If it would have been not there, then it would have given the output that E is not present. For example, now see here, if I want to go for not in function, that is not in operator. So simply if I want to check A not in str, so it is again true because the character A is not present in hello. So that's why this condition again becomes true and will get the output as A is absent. If A would have been there in the string, then this condition would have become false and the else part would have been executed. Now just try to recall how this if and else executes, so you will get to know why we are getting the output as E is present and A is absent. Remember that if statement, when the condition here is true, at that time only it executes or it enters in its loop. Right? So this is how membership operators are being used in the strings.